Okay, let's talk about something we've all felt. You send a text, you see that little red receipt pop up, and then crickets. Just silence. For hours, maybe even days. It is without a doubt one of the most maddening parts of modern life. But what if I told you that being left on red has almost nothing to do with you? Well, today, we're going to decode the surprising psychology behind why some people just take forever to reply.
I mean, it's a feeling we all know, right? That little jolt of confusion, maybe a flash of annoyance, when you know for a fact your message has been seen, but there's just nothing coming back. You immediately start to wonder, wait, did I say something weird? Are they mad at me? It's just a universal part of our digital lives now.
So we tend to jump to conclusions. The myth is that a slow reply means the other person is being rude, or they're lazy, or, they're just straight up ignoring you. But the reality, from a psychological standpoint, is way more complex, and honestly, way more interesting. It's usually less about ignoring you and a lot more about them being overwhelmed, totally drained, or stuck in a loop of overthinking. Let's break down what's really happening in their head.
So our first big reason is all about the brain hitting its processing limit. What if the delay isn't actually about your message, but about everything else going on in that person's mind at the exact second they read it?
This is a very real thing called cognitive overload. The best way to think about it is like having way too many tabs open on your computer. Your brain is just whirring away. And when a new message comes in, it's not just one more tab. It's a tab that suddenly triggers a dozen other thoughts and tasks. And that creates this massive mental traffic jam, making it nearly impossible to craft a good reply on the spot.
So here's how that chain reaction actually works. Step 1, they read the message. Simple enough. Step 2, boom, their mind kicks into overdrive. They're not just processing your words, they're thinking about related tasks, emotions, and what comes next. Before they know it, the brain hits its limit. Total overload. And the only healthy response at that point is to just step away and circle back later when they have more mental bandwidth. It isn't a choice, it's a mental necessity.
All right, so it's not just about mental bandwidth, it's also about emotional energy. Because for a lot of people, social interaction actually drains energy instead of giving it. And that brings us to this idea of guarding the social battery.
And this is such a key insight. For someone who gets easily drained by socializing, a reply isn't just a single action. They see it as a commitment. They know that hitting send could be the start of a whole back-and-forth conversation that they just might not have the energy for right then and there. It's got nothing to do with the person who sent the message. It's all about their own capacity to actually engage in a meaningful way.
And this really gets to the heart of the motivation. It's not rudeness. It's literally a form of self-preservation. By waiting to reply, they're protecting their inner peace, they're managing their emotional balance, they're making a choice to engage when they can be fully present, instead of forcing a conversation when they feel drained.
You can kind of think of it like this. Some people get energized by social interactions. Their battery goes up. But for others, it's a huge energy drain. Their battery goes way down. So that slow replier, they're often just waiting for their social battery to recharge a bit so they can give you and the conversation the attention and energy you both deserve.
Okay, our third reason. This one dives into a mental habit that I think a lot of us know all too well, overthinking. But we're going to look at it not as a flaw, but as this complex, thoughtful process of trying to craft the absolute perfect response.
Psychologists have a term for this, cognitive complexity. Basically, it's a tendency to see the world in all its shades of gray, not just in black and white. So when these people get a message, their mind doesn't just react, it analyzes. They're thinking about the tone, all the potential ways it could be interpreted, and every possible outcome of their reply before they even think about typing.
Let's use a super simple example. A message like, "Wanna hang out?" To some, that's easy. To an overthinker, it can trigger this whole cascade of questions. Do they really mean it? When? Am I free? Oh no, what if I sound too eager? What if I sound uninterested? What if they're just being polite? The goal here isn't to be difficult. It's to make absolutely sure the reply won't be misunderstood and that the interaction is a good one. That process just takes time.
And this is so important to understand. What looks like indecisiveness from the outside is actually this hidden and, let's be honest, often stressful process of drafting, editing, and redrafting the conversation in their head. It's a deep search for the best possible reply to create the best possible outcome for everyone.
So when you start to put all these pieces together, the cognitive overload, the energy management, that intense search for the perfect reply, a completely different story starts to emerge. A new, much more empathetic way of looking at the slow replier.
So instead of seeing something negative, we can start to see a delayed reply as a sign of deep reflection. It's a way to protect their social energy. It's a tool for maintaining emotional balance. It can even be a method to resist that constant social pressure to be on 24/7. When you look at it this way, it's actually a quality of a deeply self-aware person.
And that's really the big takeaway here. If you're one of these people, or if you know someone who is, there's nothing wrong with it. This behavior comes from a place of real thoughtfulness and self-regulation. It's a sign that your mind is wired to value meaningful interaction over just an instant reaction.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. The next time you send a message and you see that little read receipt with no immediate reply, what will you see? Will you see a slight or a sign of a thoughtful mind at work? A person who's ignoring you, or just a person who's protecting their peace? The answer might just change the way you see your digital world.